Hey, Case and Northwest kids. It is Mr. Minnick here, and I wanted to show you guys a new resource that I just figured out for our independent reading if you are still looking for a book. So, this is something that we have and that we've had for the whole year, but I haven't had us try yet. Maybe some of you have looked at it. But if you look on the left here on your modules, I'm just using sixth grade as an example. But if you see where it says Overdrive, if you go ahead and click on that, it'll give you the option to open up the Overdrive website in a new tab. I believe it says open a new tab here. And so if I do that, it will show up and it'll have you log in with your Google account. Right. So I'll go ahead and I will log in with my school one there using Clever like we always do. And then the first thing it's gonna show up as Sora, which is kind of like the school version of this online library that's called Overdrive. So you click on Find My School, and then you're gonna say most likely that your school isn't listed because it tries to find it. And then I want you to type in Excel, ACCEL, and it'll show up as Excel schools in Rockside Road at Independence. You're gonna say this is my school. Okay, so when it says select your school, you're going to click Excel Schools again. Okay, and then it's going to say sign in using Excel Schools. Now, when you do that, what it's going to do is it'll take a couple seconds and it'll sign you in. But then now you're signed into Overdrive through Sora. And again, what Sora will let you do is it will let you scroll through different books that are available, and it recommends some to you. It gives them in different subjects and categories. And the cool thing that you can do, so let's say that you want to go to this Messi book, right, about soccer. So what you do here is you can either read a sample of it or add it to a list if you want to go to it later. But you can go ahead and just click on borrow. And then what it will do after it loads here is that it lets you borrow the book like we were in a real library. I'll close my window here. And then what you can do, right, and I haven't quite figured this all the way out yet, but you can scroll through the different pages, right? Just like you're reading a regular book, like you swipe them. And then it's like you're reading the actual book. Of course, I picked one in Spanish and I don't speak Spanish, but moral of the story here, right, is that you can swipe through it just like it were a real book, and you're borrowing these books just like they were from the real library, right? So this is something that's super, super cool. And again, right, you get little achievements and things on it, which is pretty fun. Um, but this is the way that you can borrow books using Sora and Overdrive. And then, once you're done with them, you can return the book. I think that's how you do it. Yep, so you would return it, right? And then now you can find other books. I would say just try to get one book at a time, right? But again, if you decide that you don't like the book, you can always return it. But because this does function kind of like an online library, there only are certain copies of every book. So that's why I don't want you to take 100,000 books and then only read one of them at a time, right? So just pick one. If you like it, keep reading it. If you don't, return it and find a new one. But the thing that's really cool about this is that you guys can go ahead and you can borrow books from this online app, right? And then once you read them, then you'll go back into your Canvas and then you'll go into that tracker, right? And then you'll log that you read the 15 minutes of that or more every day, right? So you'll go make sure to go ahead and put another one of these into this week's module. But again, when you go to your independent reading thing that will show up, right, the offline tracker, you'll just say, on Sora, I read 15 minutes of this book about Messi, about the soccer, and then you'll log it, right? So that's how you do it. Hopefully that made a little bit more sense, and you can always inbox me if not. But I think this is a really cool program that we have. It's similar to what North Coast is using, and so you guys can kind of go to town on that. All right, have fun.